There was a man named Moses Austin who heard many stories about the prosperous land of Texas. He dreamed about one day settling this land and starting a colony. But before he could settle his share of Texas, he died, leaving his mission to his son, Stephen Austin. Stephen Austin started a colony with 297 families, later known as the Old 300. The unfortunate part of this story, however, is that the Texan land was owned by the recently independent Mexico, and many Mexicans living in Texas, or Tejanos, were unpleased that their newly acquired land was being colonized by Americans. This conflict led to an uprising of the Mexican people against the American colonists, led by General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. Santa Anna marched with an army of 6,000 to where the Texans were camping, an abandoned church mission called the Alamo. He then began his siege. Santa Anna's siege lasted 12 days. Constant cannon fire rained down on the plains below until, on the 13th day, Santa Anna stormed the Alamo with his full force. The battle lasted only an hour and a half, and not a single Texan rebel escaped. Word spread of Santa Anna's victory and of the fall of the Alamo across Texas, and this outcome made many people very angry. Revenge is what the Texans wanted. After the Alamo, an immediate response was needed, and a passionate Texan rebel named Sam Houston was ready to fill the role of leader. But the rebels couldn't go back on the offensive quite yet. Santa Anna wanted to quash all hopes of rebellion, and so he proceeded on past the Alamo in search of Houston and the rest of the Texans. Sam Houston received word of Santa Anna's movements and had no option but to retreat eastward. But in doing this, as Santa Anna got deeper into Texas, the Mexican general had a harder and harder time getting supplies to his army. So the weak, hungry, and tired army of Santa Anna reached a spot to camp near the San Jacinto River, where they hoped to clash with Sam Houston. Expecting Houston to attack at dawn, Santa Anna had his army stay up all through the night, but when an attack never came, the soldiers relaxed and took their chance to rest and eat. Houston attacked, of course, while Santa Anna's army was unprepared. Some soldiers were in the midst of biting down into a chunk of bread. Some weren't even dressed. Houston's army completely flattened the unsuspecting soldiers. Santa Anna fled, only to be caught a few days later. And in exchange for his freedom, the general commanded all of the remaining Mexican army out of Texas. Texas was free.